This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So, for those of you who have seen my previous video, which I uploaded about an hour or so ago, it's about Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. Anthony Joshua confirms to be neutral. Okay, now, the reason that I got the neutral is because they initially released a very, very short clipping of it and they edited it. So, is it a neutral location? Is it not? We don't know, but on the clip that I was seeing, that's what he was saying. But in the full interview, which is now available, I wish it was when I first did the video, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, we don't know. But to follow on from that video, a new update is that obviously a lot of people are saying that Anthony Joshua, he should stay with Rob McCracken. Others say he should leave Rob McCracken. Now, Anthony Joshua has confirmed that he's staying with Rob McCracken and he's going to be reaching out to George Foreman. George Foreman, of course, king of comebacks, arguably one of the greatest comebacks in boxing history, right? Of course, George Foreman did spend a hellacious time out of the ring and then come back, but he knows a thing or two about comebacks. And George Foreman reached out to Anthony Joshua and he says, you know, I would love to train Anthony Joshua for a comeback, along with others like Antonio Tarver and many, many others. But of course, he has to decipher who's best to be with him in camp and seek advice for, pick the brains out of, if you like. And also those who are not there just for a payday. George Foreman wouldn't be there just for a payday. George Foreman doesn't need a payday. Antonio Tarver, I have no idea. But George Foreman is a great choice. In fact, incidentally, I'm one of only about 40 people that George Foreman actually follows on social media. Big up me, right? Now, George Foreman is one of these guys that he's been around and he's fought some of the best in the game. Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, the list goes on. So, yeah, ideally, he knows boxing. George Foreman, of course, was a commentator as well during the second part of his career and, of course, when his career finished as well. So he's a very, very keen watcher of boxing. He knows boxing. He knows what it is that he's looking at, and he can advise Anthony Joshua on certain things that maybe George Foreman can see that maybe a lot of others don't see. And as we know, Anthony Joshua, he's always keen on learning. Everything is about learning. Everything's about progression. So getting George Foreman in the corner is perfect. Why not? But as he said, Rob McCracken, he's been there since the Olympics, turning pro, taking him to a world title and everything. And of course, it was Sims. He was in Joshua's corner at the very beginning of his career for the first couple of fights, I think it was. Then it was Rob McCracken on a full-time basis. But of course, Sims is still there or thereabouts anyway. But if he could add boxing people to his game, to his camp, that's great. Because what I'm hearing, as when I had Spencer Fearon on the channel a few weeks ago, he said that even he told Joshua that you got too many people hanging around you who are not boxing people. There's nothing wrong with these people. These people are fine, they're your friends and everything, but you should keep friends and family to one side and the business of boxing to the other side. And when you're in camp, these are the people that you hang with are the ones who live and breathe boxing. Your friends, great. If you need some bag carriers, whatever, it is what it is, okay? But ultimately, you need boxing people in your camp. George Foreman is, of course, a massive, massive boxing person and one of the biggest punchers in the history as well. But is this a good idea for you? Maybe you don't like the idea. Maybe you think you should just totally leave Rob McCracken. Maybe you think, I mean, does George Foreman have the experience of coaching and advising? That part, I don't really know too much about George Foreman. I don't believe that he has. But Either way, he's got the eye for the sport. He knows what it is that he's looking at. And because he was one of the very first people to come out and say, I will help Joshua, then quite clearly he's seen something. But what's also important about Joshua as well is that he's giving the impression he knew what happened in the first fight, which is key, very, very key to victory. He knows what happened. Much like Lennox Lewis when he lost to Hasim Rahman. He said that before he left the ring, he knew what happened. And he knew he was going to correct it in the rematch. And this is Joshua's, hopefully this is his mindset as well. But either way, we'll have to wait and see what happens. So this is Anthony Joshua. Link in the description box where he says that he's still to reach out to George Foreman. Interesting news, right? Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.